Introduction. I wrote this book to bring a greater understanding to one of the most important and transformational teachings in the New Testament, the concept of the old self and the new self as taught in Ephesians 4 verses 22 through 24. You were taught with regard to your former way of life to put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitude of your minds, and to put on the new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness. Although I love studying the Bible and theology, and it has helped me gain a strong grasp of this subject, my deeper understanding of the struggle between the old self and the new self has come from 30 years of being a Christian counselor. Being in the trenches with people, fighting to become free from the old in order to live in the new, opened my eyes to the determination and savagery of the spiritual forces warring for control over people's minds and souls. What I discovered during those years is that good theology alone is not enough to win this war. Now, I do not in any way want to discount the importance of a solid biblical foundation. They are essential to a Christian's life. But I have seen many believers, people with strong theology, still trapped in the same unhealthy and destructive patterns that dominated them before they came to faith. This is especially evident in the many scandals within Christian churches, where some of the best Bible teachers of our time fell prey to the desires of the old self. So if solid theology isn't enough, what are we missing in our understanding of how to gain victory over the old things that have ruled and may still rule over our lives? The things that keep us trapped in shame, doubt, confusion, anxiety, and despair. The things that sabotage every area of our lives. That is what I want to explore together in this book. How can we be truly free from the old self and live in the new self? This freedom is one of God's greatest promises to Christians, not just some Christians, but all Christians, including you. And God does not make promises without providing a way for them to be fulfilled. In light of this truth, and as you read this book, I encourage you to shift your perspective from seeking 5 things you need to do to become a better Christian to discovering what God has already done and is offering you, which empowers you to live an abundant Christian life. The reason I say this is because I see so many Christians stuck in a fruitless effort to rehabilitate the old self using well-meaning, man-made strategies that ultimately leave them feeling frustrated and hopeless. Maybe it's time to discover a whole new way of understanding this critical old versus new struggle, and to take advantage of the tools and weapons that God has already provided and gifted you to take off the old and put on the new. When you take off the old and put on the new, you will be free to carry out God's divine purposes for your life. Putting on the new self frees us from the obsessive self-absorption of the old self. This freedom allows the fruits of the new self to be produced in our lives. The fruits are many, but perhaps the most important one is the freedom we experience to become reconcilers, demonstrating the love of God to a fallen and enslaved world.